afternoon. Big win for us, obviously, on Saturday. Part of the way the guys just did work consistent. I think that's been the number one thing for us all year long, from fall camp through the games. And in the game on Saturday, just consistent mindset and great responses from the beginning to the end. Started fast and finished on the field, as opposed to Maryland game where we didn't convert and had a chance to finish it off. So I was really happy with our guys, and it just continues to fuel the fire and bring more energy as every week turns into wins and success. And our guys are feeling it right now. So excited about the direction we continue to head. So, any questions?
Tom and Matt.
Coach, one of the things that Tom had said earlier in the year about Matt Bedford was during fall camp, his didn't really have the great ability to have a great practice day after day after day. He was concerned about that when he had to start to play every game, but it seems like he's been really, really good every week for you.
Yeah, he has. He's really settled in. The newness of playing as a true freshman and isn't there anymore. He's a guy we're counting on to be just like everyone else who's got a lot of snaps under their belt now. And he's not perfect, but he's a really good football player. And he's already doing great things for us, opening up holes. I just think about the last play where we converted the third down, or converted to get the first down and be able to take a knee. And he's on the backside of the zone and just moving people, along with Peyton Hendershot doing an awesome job, and Stevie Scott finding a way to hit the cutback on those are hard yards. They were zero coverage and everyone's down low on the line of scrimmage, and so you're short hats, and we just played physical, and Matt was a big part of that. So he's very consistent throughout the course of the game, and there's technical things week in and week out that I know Coach Hiller is really working with on him that he's taken to, and it's going to continue to improve.
Matt?
Yes, as you get kind of into this final stretch of the season, you've started to use Stevie Scott a little more, so his confidence has started to build. Do you plan to kind of lean on him a little more as you get into some of the toughest defenses that you'll be facing, or do you expect more control for him, or much of the same?
I just think he's doing a great job all around. He's letting the game come to him. I think as he gets those opportunities. I think his big run early in the game this week was a 3rd and 1, breaking through some hard tackles and giving us a spark there, and obviously some touchdown runs that he had, or a touchdown run he had, where there was a lot of guys he had to run through and finishing in the end zone, and just all around, he's catching the ball better and better every single week. He got some, I think, 3 or 4 catches this last game, and then his protection. I think he's becoming more sound, not just in the assignment, but also in the technique with it. So I'm just really pleased with how he is. He's a great team player. I think he's becoming even a better leader each and every week, and not just a guy, but a leader on a football team. So I'm really pleased with the strides Stevie's made. I think he's matured a lot.
Jeff and Kevin.
Coach, this is a little bit of a peripheral thing, but a number of players mentioned that Wop bringing the Chucky doll on the trip and into the locker room. Just what was the team's reaction? What did you think? Is that just one of the things that Wop does?
I honestly, I saw it on the bus. I didn't realize it was in the locker room or on the field or any of that stuff. So that's beyond me. That's WAP is definitely WAP, and we can try to reel him in every once in a while. But because of who he is and the life he brings, not just to our offense but our team, we're just really. I just every single week I see growth in him. The toughness on the field. The big time plays he makes, the 3rd and 7 catches, the 4th and 7 catches, the Chucky doll is a different element that I guess I wasn't expecting or foreseeing, but it is what it is. So we just love Wop and everything he brings. He's again a guy that I think not just as an athlete is progressing and maturing, but just as the mental side of it. When things are good, when things are not so good, you see him becoming more consistent, not just on the field, but just with his leadership.
Kevin and Jim.
Coach Womack just said he loses sleep preparing for 2 quarterbacks every week. Have you lost sleep dealing with this uncertainty each week too with your quarterback situation?
Not just quarterback, but we've had some offensive linemen and other positions here and there throughout the season. Certainly been a challenge, probably more so than many years has been a part of. But you know, just really fortunate to have guys that care, that are going to be ready, you know, and the coaching staff that just continues to coach these guys up and just keeps moving forward. You know, we just keep plunging ahead. But yeah, it's you know, I show up on Tuesday for practice and kind of figure out who I'm working with. I mean, maybe exaggerating a little bit, but there's certainly been a lot of unknowns as the weeks go on. Not just early in the week, but towards the end of the week. So just got to prepare the best we can and keep our guys moving forward. And fortunately, you know, we continue to win, and the energy is so great. And I know tomorrow when we hit the practice field, the guys are going to be super excited to continue to get better.
Jim, then Taylor.
This was kind of a follow-up on that. How difficult is it for you to develop a game plan when you really don't know who that starter is going to be? I know you said there's not a lot of differences, but there are some differences. How can you develop that game plan going in when you don't know who the starter is? The second question is talking about this offensive line, which how they've done.
Yeah.
These sacks and things like that.
Yeah. I think the hardest part isn't necessarily as much developing the game plan, but getting guys the reps. There were definitely plays that Peyton ran on a Saturday that he maybe had one rep at throughout the course of the week. You know, it might be because certain guys, you know, especially with guys that he's going to be operating with on Saturday. So, you know, when you're back and forth, it isn't like Peyton got all the one reps, you know, all week long. It wasn't like Mike's gotten all the one reps. You know, we were trying to give both of them opportunities and to be locked in and all of that. But I think that's the hardest part. It's just what it really comes down to is execution, and you need guys that just are convicted and this is the way this play is going to be run, and they've repped it over and over and over again. And right now we haven't had a lot of reps with the same guys on the field at the same time, not just in games but especially in practice. And then on the offensive line, just, you know, super proud of those guys. You know, I was, you know, it was a late week surprise. You know, we didn't have Simon, and you know, so just Mackenzie stepping in again and doing a great job. And, I mean, you know, really, Caleb's the only guy that's kind of played the whole season, you know, at one spot. And so, just, you know, with the number of sacks, I think it's just to continue to be a credit. They were very sharp again this last week. Protection checks were good. The offensive line communication. I was really excited about being in the environment we were in with the crowd noise. We had no false starts, you know, completely locked in. It's hard to hear. I mean, it's a clap that we're listening for, and there was a lot of times when it was really loud. And those guys just completely locked in, not just on who they're blocking in front of them, especially on those third and fourth downs. You know, one false step or late off the ball might result in you know, edge being a little quicker for a D end, and our guys were just locked in and just very composed and so happy about how they're playing. Continue to develop, and you know, we're building depth as we go through the season because different guys have been playing, and so I'm excited. Coach Hiller obviously does a great job preparing each and every week those guys are getting ready to go.
Taylor, then John.
Coach, has kind of a two-part question, but Coach Allen said that, you know, you've developed a system that is multiple but also simple for the players, and I was kind of wondering how difficult can it be to walk that line between multiplicity and simplicity, and then also how has this offense grown within that versus your expectations going into Bloomington?
Yeah, I think the guys are getting really comfortable. You know, today's an example. We have a walkthrough, and you know, we don't know the whole game plan for this weekend. We're going to work on that a lot this afternoon, but there are things that I'll walk through from week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just as a review. And you know, we usually go to a game plan, and there's really nothing more we add, you know, during the course of the game. But there have been conversations we had to where say, hey, remember in week 2, we might have to go to this scheme, you know, if they continue to play this coverage, you know. And so I think our guys are really, you know, have had enough banked reps on these different concepts and these different plays to where they feel very comfortable with that. And like you said, I think in the end, you know, it's just different window dressing and just the guys being confident. I'm going to get them in certain spots that are, you know, somewhat consistent from week to week. It just may look the same either at the beginning or at the end, but the concepts are all going to be the same, and the reads are going to be consistent for the quarterbacks and so forth. So guys doing a great job.
John and Pete.
You were talking about during the Michigan State week how you had a level of trust that you felt with the players and you knew they were going to be in the right spot. And with all this shifting continuing, I mean, how much of a groove or do you feel like you're in as a play caller, and is there still some more there to add?
No, I think, like this last week, the hard thing for this week, getting ready for Nebraska, was how many different looks they were showing on film. And it wasn't just about us. And that's where the simplicity of our concepts is important, because it's not just what we do, but what we're going against. And there were a lot of different looks that we had to prepare for. But there comes a point where, we might have a certain call on, and, I can see the looks correct from the box, the one we want to go against. And I'm able to focus on the defense more and see how they're adjusting, rather than being worried about our guys getting lined up right, or, the route being run correctly. And so that's huge, because once I have confidence that that's all taken care of, I can really focus on making the adjustments and thinking about the next play call or something, a series or two down the road, that we can go to adjust to what's happening throughout the course of the game.
Pete's and Tom.
Northwestern's defense seems to be the strength of their team. What stands out there?
Yeah, they're very solid. They're very physical up front. They are confident enough in not having to bring pressure, and just stop the run that way and get a pass rush as well. But when you can do that, that puts a lot more people in coverage. We hit a lot of plays last week again when there was blitzes and windows opening up, and so they're going to be consistent. They're going to maybe bend a little bit but not break, and so we're going to have to be able to put drives together. I already told the guys that this morning, that it's going to be putting play after play after play after play, staying out of long down and distances on third down is going to be critical for us as well. So, but they're definitely physical, and they take a lot of pride, and they're fundamentally sound. Seem to tackle very well. So huge challenge for us in a different way than it had been the last 2 weeks.
Tom, and last one for Jeff.
Coach, earlier in the season when Peyton had played Ohio State game, he had some deep balls where he just didn't connect on. Now we're starting to see him hit more of those. He had obviously a couple of huge ones against Nebraska. How do you feel about calling deep balls for him and as part of as part of your plan as you're going along?
Right. Well, I think the big thing, really he and Mike have been hitting the same shots over the last few weeks in different concepts. And there's no doubt that we've gotten better. Quarterbacks early in the year, overthrowing, underthrowing, too far outside. That were a few in the Ohio State game, but there's just, I think, when you practice and you just keep doing what you do, I think there becomes a trust and then just a feel that the guys have. And we do different receiving drills with the quarterbacks that I think are really starting to help us out in those deep ball throws. Just tracking the ball and just trusting where the receiver's going to fade to, if it's a fade ball, or where he's going to be running a post to. So as long as the quarterbacks are disciplined in their read progression, and then throwing on time, and that's what I saw Peyton doing such a good job of on Saturday, is he threw in rhythm. And it helps when you have a little protection up front to where you're not worried and your eyes are coming down, but he just threw with great rhythm and trusting that the guys are going to break at this point or, win to this area of the field. And we're just becoming consistent. Even one, just a Peyton Hendershot just right down the seam, and Peyton Ramsey threw a great ball, but it was, Hendershot putting his hands up and making a great catch over the outside shoulder. I mean, that's something we work on a lot throughout the week, just those fundamental skills of tracking the football. And so we have certainly gotten better. Like you said, the Ohio State game, we were pretty rough in that area.
Jeff, last one.
Kind of going back to having two quarterbacks that you're really prepared for, how many different plays have you called through week 8? And is it higher than if you'd only had one quarterback through 8 games, as far as, calling different things?
Call different concepts?
No, actually different plays. Like, I know you guys chart so much stuff. You chart how many different plays have we called?
Yeah.
Higher or lower?
Higher than what?
than what it would be after 8 games if you just.
I
And you
think
guys
it's-
can chart it like.
I think it's pretty, yeah, I think it's pretty consistent, you know. I think I would not expect us to be any different, you know, with the plays that we've been running and stuff, so. But yeah, no, to me, it's about what's making us, you know, continue to be successful is just weathering the storms when they happen, you know, and the plays are important, but it's the people that are running them, you know, and so, you know, you have just different ways to attack different areas of the field, or different defensive schemes, and, you know, our guys understand what that scheme is that we're running and how it attacks the defense we're seeing, so, but yeah, I think the biggest thing, we're weathering storms, you know, the early in the game, just worried about what we do, and we knew the defense would adjust, and the game would come back to us, and I was just really proud of how the guys, the first 2 drives, you know, came out of the field. Actually, the first 3, the defense gave us a short field in the third one. We're coming out of the locker room, you know, playing good football both in the first quarter and the third quarter, and so just keep doing that, and you know, play team football, and you know, the season's going to continue to hopefully head in the same direction it's been. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.